Welcome to For His Glory broadcast. This is teacher Rosalind Hodge. It is time to glorify God with your testimony. Too many testimonies of the goodness of God have been kept secret. This is testimony number 4. Now I have 2 short testimonies, so I put them together. One is thank God for his mercy, and the next one, I will not be silent. Some years ago, I observed that when I take in liquids in my body, let's say it happened for like 2 weeks, I realized that my urination had decreased. I couldn't understand. I felt a certain sensation, yes, in my body. And to tell you the truth, I was really concerned. But I didn't go to the doctor. I just, it was just happening. And then one morning, as I woke up, I was shaking like a leaf. I was shaking so bad, uncontrollably. I couldn't stop the shaking. I lay there and I was shaking so much I began to pray. And I also began to pray in English and pray in tongues, which we call praying in the Spirit. And I know that praying in the Spirit, when you pray in the Spirit, you pray the perfect will of God. So I was praying in the Spirit. I was lying there shaking for a little while. And then I managed to sit up on the bed. And it was happening, shaking. And I felt even if I called the ambulance that I wouldn't make it. That's how I felt. So after sitting up for just a little bit, I decided I'm going to try to get up, and I did get up, and I was shaking, and I'm praying, both in, as I said, in English and in the Spirit, or praying in tongues. And I say, you know what? I'm going to try to go to the bathroom. And I did not alert any member of my family. I went, I tried my best to get to the bathroom, and still shaking. And I stood up in front of the sink, and I'm shaking and praying. And all of a sudden, I felt the palms of 2 hands rest on the area of my kidneys, and it was as if a physical person was standing behind me, and they put the palm of their hands on my kidneys, but there was nobody behind me. And as the palm of those hands touched my body, the shaking stopped. And I felt like I wanted to urinate. So I just made 1 or 2 steps to the toilet, and I urinated normally. I even tell myself, why did I want to go to the bathroom in that condition? But maybe it was also an act of faith, going to the bathroom, because I was able to go like 1 or 2 steps to the toilet itself and urinated. And I knew it was the healing hands of Jesus touched me that day. Had not God touched me, I would not be speaking to you today, because I felt like I was leaving. I felt like I was going. That's how I felt. But thanks be to God for what he did for me that day. Now, what actually prompted me to say this testimony at this time was that in the middle of November, I went to the doctor about something that was on my leg. And the doctor said, okay, she's going to take a sample of what's on my leg, but she's going to allow me to take some tests. And one of it was a test for the function of my kidneys. And so she wrote it up. And I didn't go exactly the same time. I went a week after, and I got the test. And then on Monday, the 2nd of December, this year, 2024, she called me and said I should come for consultation. Well, to tell you the truth, I felt a little nervous because, but God is so awesome. What God did for me was to bring this song into my spirit. No longer a slave to fear. And I say, wow, what a God. I sang it and I say, you know what? God is telling me not to fear. And so on the 4th of December, I went to the doctor and she started to go over the results with me. When she reached the part with my kidneys, she said, your kidneys are excellent. She said that the reading is better than even a normal kidney function. I guess she was a little puzzled to see that happen. She said, you have excellent kidneys. And I said, wow, thank God. And the other tests were okay as well. But the one with my leg, for the sample, she had to do something with that needed some attention. But I was so glad. And when I went home and I sat on the bed, that's when I remembered, Jesus healed my kidneys some years ago, and my kidneys are still functioning excellently. And I said, look, I missed an opportunity to glorify God in that office, to let this lady know that Jesus did heal my kidneys. So I was so glad to get that result. And I give God thanks for that, because I know that had he not come true for me, I wouldn't be giving this testimony today. So I want to give glory and honor to him. Is there anybody listening to this testimony? No, I am giving glory to God for healing my kidneys that day and rescuing me from death. Now, the other testimony is also short. And this testimony was told to me by my mother. I was about 4 months old when she took me to the doctor. And the doctor was playing with me, and I laughed. And when I laughed, she said to my mother, I have to cut that baby's tongue. So my mother said, what you mean by cut the baby's tongue? She said, if I don't cut that baby's tongue, she will not be able to form words. She will not be able to speak. My mother didn't like the idea at all. She said, well, let's wait and see. She said, no, I have to do it now that she's young. I have to cut her tongue. So my mother didn't like what the doctor was actually telling her. And of course, she was saying, you have to do this, or else that child will not speak. That child will not speak. Anyway, my mother said, well, she don't know if she's going to do that. She said, yes, you have to do it. And then she said, don't forget to bring her back to me so I can cut her tongue and don't stay long to bring her back. And then she will be able to speak normally. Well, about 2 days after or so, when my mother's friend came to visit her, and my mother told her friend what the doctor said. The friend said, no way, no way. Do not let that woman touch this child's tongue. This child is going to talk when she is ready. Do not let anybody trouble your child's tongue. Do not take that child back to the doctor. My mother said she was thinking the same thing. She said, don't go, just don't go. Don't call her, don't say anything, just don't take this child back. And so my mother did not take me back. And as I was growing up, as a matter of fact, before that, I can say that I began to speak when it was normal for a child to speak. And as I was growing up, my mother would tell me constantly, but look at how this lady wanted to cut your tongue and you are speaking and singing and so forth. She said, I am so glad I didn't take you back to her. And so I just want to say, not only was I singing and chatting as I growing up, but I became a teacher by profession, and I have taught many children, and I speak fluently, I speak with clarity, and I also became a minister of the gospel. So I am saying thanks to God that my mother didn't take me back to that lady. And I am sure you all are listening to me right now. And you are hearing me, and I know that you know everything I am saying to you. So I give God thanks. So I say, yes, God watches over his children. God watches over us. So thanks for watching. Please check for testimony number